This is part one of the change process recorded lecture. Adapting to change. Change always implies there's going to be an alteration or modification of behaviors or functions affected by the presence of varying factors. We can have planned or unplanned individual change, and with healthcare constantly changing and continuing to do so, we'll always have some type of organizational change. Adapting and how we respond to change sometimes. So what can lead to these attitudes or behaviors? I'd say high stress, feeling overworked, underpaid. I'm sure you may have felt this way or have seen coworkers react like this at some point in your career. Motivating change. Some factors that will motivate it. Crisis, yes. If a crisis occurs, change will occur. So we have COVID-19 shutting everything down, March of 2020. Everything went remote immediately. If a conflict is constantly occurring, we've got to have a change. If the issue cannot be resolved, what's going to happen? Disappointment may lead to a change. Say you're disappointed in how you scored on that OB quiz. So that will motivate you to change how and when you study. Lack of rewards. This could be in your current position. Lack of rewards as in your pay scale. That higher degree will give you more income, so that will motivate a change. Desire for autonomy and improvement. That could be a motivator to make a change to become a registered nurse. Some types of change. We have developmental, which, just as it says, develops over time. So this type of change is completed in increments. So we have, implementing new software, to each nursing unit, starting one department at a time. That way you can work out the bugs as you go, instead of just let's everybody go live all at once and see what happens. Then we have unplanned change, which there can be two types, which would be forced change. Usually an emergent situation is occurring to cause this change. It might be some kind of disaster situation. Spontaneous change could be maybe an unplanned purchase. You went out car shopping, and you made a big purchase. Maybe a job change. Could be spontaneous. So with planned change, it is developmental change, it's incremental change, happens over time. This could be a merging of departments or maybe a separation of departments. I don't know how many times, med surg and pediatrics have been separated and combined, separated and combined. Rapid change occurs quickly without thinking of the consequences. We're going to do this now and then think about, not even think about what's going to happen as an outcome. It could be dangerous. Transactional. This is where two parties meet to implement an agreed upon planned change. So an example of this would be the nursing unions at the hospital, the union leaders meeting with nursing administration to discuss the new contract. Transformational change. This would be a radical new change after moving away from the old. I would say with this, we had a transformational change in the nursing department, going from the nursing lab and classroom in Cook Hall, which if any of you have seen it, know the shape that it was in, to the Bora Center. We've made a transformational change. So we have a planned change with purposeful, systematic effort to bring about a change. So we recognize, what is currently in place is outdated, not cost effective, not working. i.e., the old nursing lab and classroom in Cook Hall. So then we have to identify a problem to be solved through change. Okay, we know that we need something bigger, newer, better technology. So we've collected our data. Now we're going to determine and analyze. We're going to find alternative solutions to reach the same goal. We're going to look at the data we collected. We're going to weigh the pros and cons of this change, advantages, disadvantages. So from the best alternatives, we're going to select a course of action. Come to a decision regarding the change. How are we going to make this happen? Well, we need to design the plan. Where should the plan be implemented? What are the timetables? Who will be involved with the changes? Implement the course of action. So we made our plan. Well, the Bora Center has been developed, designed, built. Now we need to move over there. We've got a plan for moving everything. Everything's been moved, and now implement the course of action. First day of classes, everything's open. We need to be flexible because of unforeseen problems. Things may occur that aren't working right. And then we evaluate the effects of the change. Are adjustments needed? Are the objectives being met? And then stabilize the change. Make permanent changes. Continue to check that the changes implemented are in place. Think about some examples from your workplace when you've been involved in a major or minor change. It is a process for a well thought out planned change.